Okay, good evening, everyone. We are ready to get started. Thank you so much for your patience. And what a crowd we have tonight. This is a really great turnout. Thank you all for being here with us. My name is Brian Cofrancesco. I'm your Leadership Development Coordinator for the New England and Bermuda District, and a member of the Kiwanis Club of Meriden, Connecticut. We are so happy that you're able to join us tonight for the workshop, Socially Distant Service Projects. This is the 7th session in our virtual workshop series, which is our weekly learning opportunities held Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And I hope you will all continue to take advantage of these free sessions and also encourage your fellow club members to do so as well. You should have received notice about our newly announced February workshops last week, but if you didn't, please send us an email and we'll look into it. You can contact us at education@newenglandkiwanis.org, and our tech expert, Elise, will drop that link into the chat for you. And we'll also share a link to our registration for our February sessions, which we'll talk about later on at the end of the workshop tonight. So I know we have a lot of repeat visitors tonight, but for those of you who might be joining us for the first time, some housekeeping. We ask that you please keep yourself on mute so that we ensure an uninterrupted presentation. And if you're new to Zoom, the mute button is in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. You are welcome to keep your camera on. It's always nice to see everyone's faces and get the feel like we're able to gather in person. But if you prefer to keep your camera off, that's fine too. We invite you to put your name and your club in the chat and introduce yourselves so everybody knows where everybody is from. We've got a really great number of people from all over the district across our states and Bermuda tonight, so we'd love to hear where everyone is connecting from. You can also use the chat to post any questions you have. We will ask questions at the end. There will also be some time this evening to share service projects your clubs may be doing during the pandemic, and you are welcome to put that in the chat. Our presentation tonight will be about an hour. We are live streaming to Facebook, and we'll also have this recorded. If you are on Facebook this evening watching live, we encourage you to post your questions in the comments on the stream, and we'll grab them from there and ask them to our presenters. If you would like to share this afterwards with fellow Kiwanians, there will be a recording on our Facebook page as well as on our district YouTube channel. So with that, we'll get started. We all know, it's no news to any of us, how far-reaching the impact of this COVID-19 pandemic has been, and the impact it's had on all of us as individuals, but also on our communities, and especially in our cases on our Kiwanis clubs. And I've heard from a lot of clubs this year that they still want to do service and they want to help kids and those in need, but they aren't sure how to do that safely. And fundraisers are important too, but service is really at the core of what we do. And that's going to be the focus tonight, hands-on service projects. So this workshop, Socially Distant Service Projects, will provide you with creative ways to do hands-on service and keep your members engaged even during a pandemic. Our excellent presenters for this session are Jessica Plante and Donna Roberts, who are both members of the eKiwanis Club of New England and Bermuda. And as an online club, eKiwanis always has to think creatively about hands-on service projects and things that their members can do virtually or from different places. So there is a lot that our clubs can learn from their work. So with that, I'm going to pass things over to our presenters, Jess and Donna from the eKiwanis Club.
Hey everyone, this is Donna Roberts. I'm with the Saco River Valley Kiwanis Club and also with eKiwanis. Tonight we are talking about service projects that can be done, I guess, remotely. You know, as we know, it's been very difficult to try to come up with ideas on how to impact our community, but the team has come up with a few ideas that I think might be of interest to most of the people in the room. And if you have other ideas, we would certainly appreciate anything that you can share with us. So Jess has a PowerPoint presentation that she's going to be sharing, and there are several ideas. And if you need to have any more information, I believe at the end of the presentation, there'll be a link, right, Brian, to a Google folder that anyone can access to download whatever it is that they might need. So take it away, Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess. I'm also from the Winchendon Kiwanis Club and the eKiwanis Club. So I will start to share my screen. So we have done some stuff in the eKiwanis Club, as Brian mentioned, that we have to think outside the box. So we came up with a few ideas that we have done in the past and probably will do in the future also. Our first one was bookmarks. We printed the bookmarks on cardstock. You cut them apart and you can donate them to schools, libraries. I know that you can probably help with the Key Club on this also, and they can color it, or that you can have the kids color it also. We were in the planning process of doing the literacy books before the pandemic hit. We were bringing these to the conference and we were printing them out. They're pretty easy. They have all the letters. I know that Elise and Carl from the eKiwanis Club were looking into this and they helped make these also. You can donate them also to the schools to help, and any local libraries to help with the kids on this. And this is a very simple, easy project, and you could probably print it on cardstock.
That might be a good addition too, if you have a reading nook in your community that you could, you know, put them together and drop them off at the reading nooks. That might be helpful or appreciative. You know, people that would get it might appreciate that. So it's another idea.
That's a good one. I forgot about those. Our next one that we did, I know this one was pretty easy. The thank you notes. We printed it out. I know that my son and I did this. We printed them out on cardstock and we colored them and we passed them out to, I know we did a police department, the fire department. We actually did a couple of our mail carriers. We stood at the mailbox and handed it to them. And my son was very happy because they were saying thank you because of the pandemic. He liked coloring. And these are very simple to print out. You can do it on construction paper also. And they gave you 3 different ones. It was like nurses, the fire and rescue, and any essential workers. Here is another one that we came up with that I worked with my local Key Club also doing. It is a corner bookmark. I included on how to do it, so you can look through these slides, and this will also be in the Google Drive. But this is a very simple project. It would take you less than 95 minutes to do. So you need, the first thing is the 6x6 paper, and I just included all the, what's it called? Their instructions, and it's not that many. So I'm just going through all their instructions, and they're very easy. Anybody can do it. And I know that our Key Club in my home club did it, and they passed it out to the school age children. So that was their service project also. Oh, sorry. So the next one was this one is a little bit harder to do. The ribbon bookmarks, they're fun to do, but it's a little bit harder. The only thing is that they said to use a needle and thread or sewing machine. I've actually used a glue stick. I'm not a glue stick, a glue gun. And you can also, it will work also, but you need to use it very carefully. You don't want to glue something that you don't need to glue.
Kind of like super.
I've done that. And if we were going to be in person, we did have all this stuff to pass out to people to try at a workshop. So, and like I said before, I included all their instructions on these Google slides on how to do it, but I did not print out any pictures of the glue guns, sorry. And it's very simple. You can get everything, like I got all my materials at Dollar Tree. that I passed out to people to use.
And they
Except for the
sell-
glue gun.
Yeah,
Excuse
they
me.
sell fabric glue too, like at Michael's or any of these craft stores. So you don't necessarily need a glue gun. You can just use fabric glue. It's pretty easy. It's just a stick. It's like stick glue, but it's specifically for fabric.
I did not know that. That's a good idea. Good suggestion. So it's easy to do and it's fun. I know that if anybody who likes to do crafts and on a cold, rainy, snowy day, this is a great project to do. And everybody can be in their own house to do it. Okay, we're all done and it's easy. And I included a picture of what it looks like around a
Ah,
book. So that is a very simple project to do, but that one takes a little bit more time than the regular corner bookmarks to do. We were talking about in our last meeting a couple of other ideas that we can come up with service projects. One of our partners for Kiwanis International and us is the March of Dimes. They have send a note to parents in the InkU. And they have their own template that you can use. And it's just sending them encouragement notes. And here is the website also for that. You can also send it to the healthcare providers also. I think Carl from our eKiwanis Club found this for us to do. Then here's a couple other fun websites. You can answer questions. I know that I was answering some kibble questions, trying to raise some kibble bits for cats in local shelters. You play some word games, and instead of earning points or anything, money or anything, you're earning either kibble for animals, dogs or cats in local shelters. And also there is Earn Rice from the World Food Program that you can earn grains of rice for answering some questions. And it's fun if you're just sitting there, maybe on if you're presenting some notes, or if you're listening on a Zoom call and you don't want to participate, you can do this on the side. Yeah, I find little ways to make everybody fun. Donna, do you have any others?
oh, that was funny. Don't do that.
It's fun. 2 screens.
No, I don't know if anybody else has any ideas about what they've been doing. I know my club has just been doing the safety kits for the hospital. Our local hospital, Southern Maine Medical Center, they want kits like every other month. So luckily, we've been able to get all of the kits that we can actually put together and bring to the hospital for the maternity ward. And they're very appreciative, and we do appreciate the foundation for, supplying everything that we need for that. But honestly, that's about all that our club has been doing. So some of these ideas I know I'll incorporate with our club. I don't know, what else has anybody else been up to?
Well, our club in Chelsea, Massachusetts, over the holidays did a few different things that involved sending cards to the veterans. We have a very famous veterans home in Chelsea, Massachusetts, to some of the hospitals. And we also did work with an organization that sends cards and care packages to troops overseas. So similar to some of the ideas you guys presented, but it's just other organizations that that you could basically participate just like that. It's pretty neat.
This is Christine Edwards. Over the holidays, we did of course, this isn't far distant, but still distance with the mask. We collected $1,500 ringing the bell for Salvation Army, and all of that money directly goes to the Greenwich Social Services Department to be distributed. We also collected money as well as coats for kids. So it was Kiwanis coats for kids. And we had 35 coats that were collected for social service, all brand new, because they really didn't want used coats with COVID. And those are two really wonderful things. And I planned to do a food drive, but we just didn't have time to do it with the holidays. I'm sorry, but we will be doing it now toward this end of this week. So food has become still such a major issue for people. There just is terrible food insecurity. Thank you.
Our Hooksett Club has been doing quite a bit lately. We also did like in December, the raising money for Salvation Army. Our club matched the funds of whatever our members could donate. And then we've been doing a lot of thank you baskets. Right now, we're currently working on several thank you baskets. We're going to distribute them to all of the 3 schools in our town of Hooksett. There's about 220 staff members between teachers and staff members at all 3 schools. And we're just throwing in things like candy, maybe some lip balm, different things that they can use, that we made sure with the principal that we could do all of that. So we're in the process of putting those together right now.
Does anybody have any other ideas, or do they have questions?
Well, in Scarborough, one of the things we did was collect hats, mittens, and children's size socks for the homeless shelter. A lot of times the homeless shelter gets a lot of adult clothing, but they don't get the children's clothing. So we collected new hats, new mittens or gloves, new socks, and ended up taking over 60 bags of clothing,
Oh,
just that, to the homeless shelter. And they were very, very appreciative and said they don't always get that, and the need is much greater this year.
oh, that's great.
This is Cindy from Fairfield, Connecticut. One of our key clubs is putting together blessing bags for the shelters, and they're including toiletry items, Dunkin' Donut gift cards, just like a few things, that you would usually put in a bag for the shelters. And as a thank you, our club is putting together these candles wrapped in like a hemp ribbon with an antique key hanging off of them, just to give our gratitude back to the key club that thought up the idea with the blessing bag. So although we are helping with the bags themselves with a big bin in our town hall, we also want to thank the key clubbers for, dipping into their own pockets and their own families' wallets to make this happen.
Jess, one thing that one of my clubs did, I don't know, last week or the week before, is we did a socially distant food drive and winter clothing drive for a local charity that has been providing food to about 400 residents in my community every week since the beginning of the pandemic. So basically what we did is everybody that wanted to, we did it just with our members. All of our members that wanted to participate put a bag of food out on their front porch or whatever, and I drove around on a Saturday morning and picked food and clothing up, and it took, driving around, it took me trips because my car is not huge, bringing stuff home and emptying it out, but I think probably about 2 hours, and we got a ton of stuff. I don't know if you guys can see this picture on your screen,
Oh,
but
wow.
I have an 8-foot dining room table, and that's just full of boxes of food, thanks to the generosity of our members. And it was a quick and easy project to do.
Kind of building off of what Elise was saying, our club in Meriden, every January we do a Super Bowl fundraiser, SOUP, Super Bowl, and we do it for the Meriden Soup Kitchen. And We typically do it as a competition between our service leadership programs and Kiwanis collects outside the grocery store, and then we bring truckloads and truckloads, usually 7,000 items down to the soup kitchen the weekend of the Super Bowl. So we had to think creatively this year, and so we found 12 businesses in town, some of them Kiwanian owned, where we could put out collection bins. And so we distributed those this week, and then we're encouraging the community, we're publicizing it broadly, to drop off their food donations at these 12 locations. And the people who own the businesses are willing to take the food inside at night, but leave the bin out so people can actually come at any time and drop off food. And then we crossed into some new territory, and we opened a Venmo account for the club. And so we can also take online donations. So anybody who wants to send something to @Kiwanis Club Meriden, it'll go to our Super Bowl fundraiser. And our SLPs, 4 of them that are meeting, are still holding drives in their schools. And one of them got a bin into a grocery store. Some are doing the dining fundraisers, where any person who purchases from a local restaurant, a portion of their proceeds go to the Super Bowl. So just an idea, if you're looking, like Elise said, creative ways of having people drop their food on their porches. And one other project we haven't gotten around to yet, but we're looking into it, is getting paper placemats that they might typically have out at nursing homes and decorating those, possibly during a night meeting or a virtual meeting rather. But also seeing if our SLP clubs want to do the same. So distributing these paper placemats, having them decorated, and then bringing them to nursing homes to brighten up the lives of those who are there and kind of in isolation during the pandemic.
I know that I know that our Key Club in Winchendon is starting a pen pal service with nursing home in town. So that's another service project that you can do. That's fun. Any other questions? I'm stuck.
I love the ideas. I think they're wonderful. Are you going to send us the slides so we can make the bookmarks? And do you think that would be something we could do collectively and maybe have it as an interclub service project kind of thing? Just thinking. Or we could have a district service day and all do bookmarks. Just a thought. Because it's that easy. I think that would be cool.
I think that's an awesome idea. You know, do it all as a district and
all
figure
the
out a
same
way
day,
to.
or maybe we have a district-wide service week and we just send that out to everybody. And where's my Brian and Elise? We could send those out in a magical Google group email, right? And we could ask different Kiwanians to do it all the same day. And then we could hashtag, Elise can give us a magical hashtag, and we can put it up on our district Facebook page and everybody is coloring them together. Wouldn't that be cool? Talk about unity. What do you think, Jess?
That's a good idea.
All right. Can we get on that? I think that would be beautiful. It's easy, right?
Yes.
You can all color, right? Not that good, but some of us better than others. Even if every person did a sheet and we dropped them off at our schools or wherever we decided, that would be amazing. Okay.
We could do whatever the district leadership tells us we can do. So as if you tell us to set this up, education committee will set this up.
I would love us to set it up. And I know Governor Dennis would be excited about it as well. So if we could have a district-wide week, that would be great. I call it a service week or whatever you want to do. I think that would be lovely with our hashtag and get everybody together and they can all do service from their homes and we can donate them and make some smiles on some kids' faces. I think that'd be great. So thank you so much for everybody for their presentations. It's wonderful.
Well, to gauge interest, if that's something you're interested in, please post something in the chat so we can see who's interested in doing something like that. We can certainly coordinate that with your support, Gala, and support from Dennis and Elise and Jess and Donna. I think we could make something like that happen.
Being the lazy type on those bookmarks, I think most of us have printers that will print in color. So if the original is in color, we don't have to take the time to color them.
One of the bookmarks, Fred, is actually just 4 images on one piece of paper. And our job as Kiwanians was just to cut and separate them and then donate them so the kids could color them. So then you don't even, all you have to do is cut them into little strips.
Okay, we could do that too. But I love that from a PR branding standpoint, the Kiwanis logo being on it is huge. So
Mhm.
that is, anytime we can get our logo into the hands of the kids and then the parents and their backpacks is wonderful. Okay, can I get a woohoo from anybody out there tonight? Wow. Come on, guys.
Woohoo!
Donna, wake them up. Let's go.
We actually just, we have a club member that works at our local library, and he's designing, right now he's designing bookmarks that we can put for the teachers in the thank you baskets that we're doing.
That's
With
the
our
one that
club logo.
designs your Lego t-shirt, right? That genius? Is that the one?
Oh, yes, Mark.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love him. His whole concept of the Kiwanis t-shirt he does for you guys is great.
Yeah.
Hi there. My name is Kathy, and I'm from the Portland office up in Maine. And I'm a very, very new member. And we just had a meeting last night. And one of the ideas that we've been working on, well, it's not an idea, we're doing it. We're making gift boxes, Valentine's Day theme, to be delivered to a local senior home called the Barron Center, with about 150 patients there. And we're filling up the boxes with some candies and just little trinkets, and writing handmade little notes on them, like, you're special, or just little Valentine's messages on them, which would be really cute. And then we had an idea of the facility has a kind of like a newspaper, for everybody that's there, like a weekly announcements and things. And in there, we're going to put a Mother's Day idea of selling flowers, and thinking that maybe the family members would see that and send the residents, flowers for Mother's Day, which would be really nice. So it's fun to think of helping the older people, bring a little sunshine into their day, especially now. That's it.
Thank you, and welcome, Mama Eustace.
Thank you.
Is this your first Zoom call with us?
It's my first one with you all. Yes, I had my first one. My son is you probably all know him, but he's a secretary for the Portland office. He's also a lieutenant governor at another location. He's hard to keep track of. So he recruited me, and as well as his father, to join in.
Nice. I love it. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Come Zoom with us every Wednesday.
Awesome. Yeah, I've signed up actually for a few of these so I can get more familiar with what's going on.
Great.
Welcome. Does anybody else have any questions or anything else they want to share?
Has this been recorded that we can pull it up? Is it archived, our discussion tonight?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yes, so there will be the recording of the video itself will be on facebook.com/NEBD Kiwanis. That's our Facebook page. You can also look for the New England and Bermuda Kiwanis group, which is more of a forum. Elise, could you drop the links to both of those in the chat? that's really a good group, what place to go to follow the discussion of what Kiwanis clubs are doing right now, examples of projects, a lot of good stuff in the group. And
So,
then,
sorry,
ahead.
yeah, this means that I don't have Facebook. I don't want to have Facebook.
That's okay, because they're also
It's
on
on
YouTube.
the New England and Bermuda site. This
Yes.
recording will be on that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you go to the New Englandkiwanis.org, you can also find a link to our YouTube channel. And all the recordings from our sessions are there. And some of you may have joined us this summer for our virtual district convention. Recordings of those sessions are there as well. So you can look for all those. And we're working on even more. We will be sharing a link, as Donna mentioned earlier, to a Google Drive folder where we're putting copies of all the presentations from our workshops for this workshop series. So the presentations will be there and the recordings are all online. And I hope you'll share, especially tonight. I know we've gone through a lot of projects really quickly, but that's the great part of doing it in the forum style, where our presenters give you a couple ideas and then we get to share district-wide what everybody is doing. So I hope if anybody else has ideas or questions or examples of what their clubs are doing, that you'll chime in and share for everybody to hear.
I can tell you one of the other projects that we worked on is making those fleece tie blankets. We had a project at the convention. We've made some and given them to Maine Med. They use them there in the children's hospital for children who are hospitalized. They also like small knit baby blankets to give to the NICU, to hand out to the babies that are living short-term or long-term in the NICU. And I know it was very special. I had 2 grandchildren that were in the NICU up at Maine Med, and they came home with their blankets. And they're still special to them, and they're 8 and 10 years old. Also, the fleece blankets for the making them during the year and folding them up, tying a ribbon around them and donating them to the Toys for Tots program. They were very well received there and requested more of them next year.
It's a good idea.
One idea that was sent in by a message is a club that made masks for kids. They had their members sew masks based on a pattern from home, and they gave them to community organizations that serve children. So that's a cool way to be able to do something that has to do with the pandemic, and is something that your members can do from home.
Nothing else? Donna, do you have anything? No?
Yeah, let me unmute myself here. No, I was just looking at the chat things over here. Yeah, it's, pretty interesting. People have some good ideas. So, just check it out in the Google folder. And if you need more information, just let us know and we'd be happy to send you, whatever it is that you might need, or if you're having an issue with downloading anything or printing anything, just let us know. And we'll do what we can to, send you the little projects that we have.
One idea to share that I was a member of Circle K, and in college, I'm still on the college Circle K email list. and I got an email that their club was doing like pick up or take and do service projects. So they were doing care bags for the local hospital in Charlottesville, Virginia. And so the club purchased small things to put in a goodie bag for kids in the hospital. So I think they did like action figures of different types and coloring books and crayons and other activity books, little tchotchkes that they picked up at probably from the dollar store. They talked to the hospital, see what they could accept, and then they bought paper bags that the members could color, and then they had little kits that members all came to one spot, picked up their supplies, went back to their dorms, and then they did a Zoom meeting, and they were able to decorate and do them all in person. So in their case, they were able to use service money they had already earmarked for service projects. And they had a member who coordinated purchasing all of the items, and then you can kind of pick up your own little kit. And then a couple days later, they gathered them all back together to do a donation to the hospital.
Oh, that's great. Hey, I just thought of something. The Sanford Club, they had a project where I went to one of their meetings and I was helping them do that, the Satellite Club. They went around to dentists in the area and got donations of toothpaste, toothbrushes, floss, all that kind of stuff. And they packed everything up in little clear cellophane bags, I guess, that we stuffed everything in, stickers. Can't remember what else we put in there, but just little goodie bags that were brought to local food banks. And so that was distributed in the Sanford, Maine area. And I thought that was a pretty good idea. Dentists were very, they really wanted to send this stuff out. So we got cases and cases of toothpaste and toothbrushes and floss. And then other places donated the stickers and stuff. So that was really a fun little project. And the food banks really liked the idea of distributing, stuff to, for the kids to be able to learn how to take care of their teeth. So that's good. That's another project that they did.
Another thing that's a good project, maybe if the weather is a little bit nicer, and I have to admit, I think I stole this idea from Will Bradford, because he was talking about this with key clubbers being able to engage in service in a socially distant and safe way, was doing some sort of cleanup or, like a park cleanup, an idea that he had, and I'm stealing it and sharing it. Sorry, Will, if this is proprietary, but was to have all their members kind of do service in their community. So clean up their neighborhood or something so that they're all still engaged, but perhaps having a bigger global impact because it's, maybe more of a more land that they would be cleaning than perhaps a park, but something like that could be a good outdoor service project. You can wear masks and be very, very separate and apart from each other, but still doing really good things for your community.
Anybody else?
I have one. So I think that one of the best service projects that any club can do, and it's kind of like, you don't think of it as service, but it is just providing educational opportunities in your community. So when you're doing something that's helping to educate children in your communities or just educate yourselves on the different topics, anything that's buzzing or anything about like social justice or things that are happening in your town, to be able to just support the needs of that community. When you're having these community discussions, you might not think of it as service, but it definitely is service to a community to bring people together and have conversations and interact with one another. And if we can do more of that, we learn more about our community, we're able to engage more with the needs of that community, and then we're able to just provide the necessary things. So when people are saying that they are supporting their local senior citizen center or their local high school, eventually at one point you had a conversation with someone that brought you there. And when we have more of those intentional conversations, we get more of those service projects. So education is key. I'm sure Brian agrees with that. And I think that's just something that we're all challenged with right now, especially in COVID, but especially as things become more open or as we engage more online, we'll see more of that. So yeah, that's my idea.
Thank you. Everybody had some great ideas. I hope everybody picked up some good ideas from this also to bring back to their own clubs.
All
Really
right.
good seeing everyone. I really miss getting together. I was so disappointed when they canceled the conference. Ugh. So looking forward to seeing everyone again in person.
What's amazing with the Zoom, I'm in Greenwich government. We have 230 members of our representative town meeting. We're lucky when we have a meeting to have maybe 180. With the Zoom, our last meeting was 228. All but 2 people were there. And they may have been in Texas, as friends of mine were, California, all over the country, but they were there for the representative town meeting on Zoom. And I really think it's been an incredible opportunity for us to actually almost see more of each other. So I love having the Zoom meetings. This is my 4th Zoom meeting, believe it or not, of the day.
Today, yep. Kathy.
Starting at
Christine.
9. Thank you very much. It's been great getting these ideas.
Christine, can I ask you a quick question? I can't help it.
Sure.
In the background, I see the opera hat. Has anyone else been staring at her opera hat?
I
and
know.
wondering? I can't see it. Is it on her? I can't see all the faces.
Let's see.
Yes.
I love it.
I belong to Greenwich Choral Society.
Of course you do. It's perfect.
Of course, I'm Swedish. Jag är svenska flicka. I'm a Larson.
Hi.
So my husband bought this for me because he said, when the fat lady sings, the meeting is over. And I'm like, I'm not that fat. But I have it back here for any of the other meetings as they end. But you're the only ones with my 4 Zoom meetings today that even mentioned it. But I always have it here. And we have various hats we put on at Greenwich Choral Society.
I love it.
For fun.
Well,
So
I
we
believe
do a
it.
meeting with different hats. I'm trying to think if I have any others here. I used to have a whole bunch.
Oh, you're fun.
Yeah.
I believe in Tiara Day. So just
Oh, I love that. I have to get my tiara. I
so
do.
on February 3rd, shameless plug, Renee and I are doing trivia and we're encouraging people to wear tiaras, boas, wear your finest, dress up and have some fun with us.
February 3rd. Where's
Christine, I think you're going to be exciting with some kind of magical hat for us.
Absolutely. I'm just sorry I don't have my other hats here. They must be in the closet.
So I expect every Zoom meeting for you to have a new hat for us.
Okay, well, I have everything from the safari hats that you
Oh,
see
my fun.
to sombreros and all sorts of
Great.
things. The Irish hats, everything. Every year, the Kiwanis for 43 years in Greenwich have organized and put people lined up for the St. Patty's Day parade. And our last meeting was 200 people at a social club installing the general marshal for that. And then of course it was canceled. And so this year, hopefully there'll be enough vaccinations and everything that we'll be able to have a St. Patty's Day parade. So
Oh, I love it.
crossed.
Thanks for making me laugh so hard, Christine. I needed that. You're great.
Well, I want to thank Jess and Donna for putting this together and organizing these ideas to initiate this conversation. You know, thing that we often hear is that the best part of workshops or conferences are when we get to all talk to each other. And so we wanted to build in a forum, this format, so that we could all have this chance to share our ideas. And there are so many great things that are happening across the district. So thank you, Jess and Donna, for initiating this and igniting this conversation. So yeah, let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
So I want to remind everybody, and Elise will drop a link in the chat, that this will be is being recorded, and all of this workshop series workshops are recorded and they are uploaded to our YouTube channel. And so if you're not on Facebook, or it's easier for you to go to YouTube, we have a playlist where you can just click go and start watching week by week. And this is our 7th session. I think we have 6 up. If we have a workshop that has a lot of breakout room time, we don't record those, but we make any resources available as possible. So as we close for tonight, I'm going to ask Elise, our tech expert, to also share her screen to show us the workshops that we have coming up in February. We have a really good lineup of sessions starting with next week. So as Gayla mentioned, February 3rd, she and Renee Marchessault are going to be presenting Kiwanis Trivia. So you don't want to miss this. They've got a, I'm sure, high energy, really fun night planned of Kiwanis Trivia, so you can learn more about our organization, interact, and have fun with each other. It'll be a nice social night. So that's next Wednesday, February 3rd. And she has requested that everyone dress in their finest and funnest attire. And as she mentioned, if you have a tiara and or hats, as Joe says, those are required for next week. The week after, on February 10th, we have members of the District Social Change and Equity Committee, several who are on with us tonight, who will be talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially in our Kiwanis clubs. That's a new session that was not originally scheduled for our fall conference. Oh, actually it was, and they've been creative in their ways to adapt it for this virtual presentation. So we're excited to bring that to you and to hopefully other members of your club. The week after, we have a special session on creative fundraisers during the pandemic. So we have 4 or 5 clubs that are lined up to give you quick 5-minute overviews of the creative service projects, fundraisers that they have done during the pandemic. And there will be a chance to ask questions. And then if you have ideas that you want to share as well, there'll be opportunities to share those. So that's February 17th. And we close out the month on February 24th with Darcy DeLuca and Mernesa Rivera Bujosa from the Kiwanis Club of Somerville, who are presenting on maintaining club momentum and engagement while we are apart. So that's also a very timely presentation, and there'll be a lot of good information shared and discussed then. Please remember to sign up for these sessions. Encourage your fellow club members to do the same. It's always nice when we have a good turnout like we do tonight. You can find more information on our district Facebook page or Facebook group, and we'll also post a registration link in the chat. If you ever have any doubts as to where to go, newenglandkiwanis.org has all the information you need under events in our virtual workshops page. We are also excited to say that these workshops are going to continue. So we are lining these up. We have a schedule that'll be released in a couple of weeks for March, and we're also booking out into April and May. So we are going to have lots of Kiwanis virtual learning opportunities for you in the next coming months. And your excitement and your support and such a good turnout is really fueling us to keep these going. So please, please, please share the registration with your club members. Make sure that your members are receiving our emails. If you hear that they're not, drop us an email at education@newenglandkiwanis.org, and we will make sure they're on our email list. We are pulling emails from the secretary's dashboard. So if your secretary needs to update any emails, please have them do that so we make sure we get our messages out to all of our clubs. I need to make sure I give a big shout out and thank you. And I hope you'll all join me in a round of applause for the 2 members of our District Education Committee, Elise DeNorfia and Judy Barrett, who work behind the scenes as the tech expert in our correspondence. They're all the ones who are making these happen week to week. They're helping to coordinate the emails, answer your questions, make the registration forms, promote on social media. So it's a real team effort. So thank you to Elise and to Judy. So with that, I want to thank Jess and Donna for tonight's presentation, and to each of you for joining us for this week's workshop. We look forward to seeing you next week for, as Gayla reminded us, Kiwanis Trivia. Hope you will sign up and join us. And until then, stay safe, be well, and thank you all for being Kiwanians. Have a
And
great
hats off. Thank you. Bye-bye.